Welcome to Solve It Like a Marketer. I'm Stephen Hobe. Today I'll be exploring how to create a logo for your new business. If you like this video, please subscribe and don't go away. Now, your business logo is one of the most important aspects you can create. It's really the apex of your branding. And as such, viewers will, in just a few short seconds, form an impression of your business. But how should you go about creating a logo? Well, here are a few suggestions to get you started. Start with your story. If you haven't already, begin by thinking about the story behind your company. So is there a backstory? What inspired you to begin? What do you hope to achieve through your work? What makes you different in terms of other organizations or business of your sort? So really defining what makes you unique. Next, brainstorm words that describe your brand. So start listing words that you think best convey your brand. And there doesn't need to be any logical flow to this, just stream of consciousness. Sketch ideas based on these words. So taking these words into account, start sketching. You don't have to be a designer to do this part. Just grab a piece of paper and pen and then map out your thoughts. These can even be basic shapes. Keep it simple though. Think about how your logo symbolizes something. Can your audience, for instance, figure out what you're going for in a few short seconds? Think colors. Going back to your brand's impression, think about colors. So as a general rule, don't choose maybe more than 3 colors. You don't want your logo to be too cluttered. Choose a font. Fonts are just as important as all the other elements. Each font has its own look and feel, and this links back to your logo's impression. So there are many fonts you can choose from, so spend some time considering. Narrow it down to a few and don't rush your choice. Scalability. So you don't want your logo to be too complicated. Otherwise, once it's shrunk, it will get lost in its own complexity. So logos need to be understood in all sizes. Finally, it's time to turn your paper drawing into digital format. So if you want to try your hand at designing, there are a few online programs that you can use. These will enable you to recreate your sketch in digital format. So you can use Logo Crisp, Luca, or Graphic Springs. And I've popped their URLs in the description below. Now, if you are not a graphic designer, what do? Well, I admit that I can only draw matchstick people. I have never been able to draw properly. So when it comes to any types of design, I rely on the expertise of others. So what do you do in this case? Well, if you have a budget, definitely go for hiring a graphic designer. All the work that you've done to this point will help with that process a lot. And it's important when working with a designer that you give them as much information as possible. You don't want to design for them, but rather give the reasoning behind the design. So let them be creative. However, if you are on a tight budget, then you might think of turning to a system like Fiverr.com. Fiverr is an online marketplace for freelance services with low-cost providers from all over the world. So the idea behind Fiverr is to streamline the process of hiring or getting hired as a freelancer. So there are a lot of designers and freelancers of all backgrounds on this system, and the prices start at $5, if you can believe that. So I would say make sure to interview designers properly so that you know what you're going to get. But certainly you can't beat the price. Finally, I thought I should give you some pointers on what not to do for logo design. So do your first designs in black and white. Finding the right color can make any logo pop, but you need to first know how it will look in plain old black and white. Remember, that in some circumstances, your logo may not be in color. So if the logo looks a bit fuzzy or illegible in black and white, more thinking is required. Again, don't add too many colors. So I love a good splash of color, but having too many in a logo can make it look cluttered. So always aim for clean, clear, and simple. You want your logo to stand out and pop. Don't pick the wrong font. We talked a little about fonts, but don't just go for the first one that catches your eye. A font can lend a certain feel to your logo, so make sure the font is aligned with your overall messaging strategy. Drop the drop shadows. Drop shadows may have been cool at one point, but they aren't anymore. So if you choose drop shadow, your logo will look dated, and you don't want that. So beware of the drop shadow. And don't use clip art. It's very easy to grab clip art and pop it into your logo. The problem is that it is community. The clip art is part of a community and others may be using it. So you don't want that. You don't want to use generic clip art in your logos. In other words, taking away from it being unique in the marketplace. And finally, avoid unnecessary words. So wordiness doesn't work in marketing copy, and it doesn't work in logo design either. So choose your words carefully. Consider, are you going to spell your company name out in full as well as having an acronym? How long is your tagline? Basically, the perfect logo is a balance between all these factors, from color to font to text to shape. Everything should fall together seamlessly. So finding this perfect balance is your main goal. Find it, and you have the making of a fabulous logo. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. You can also catch me on Instagram and Facebook for extra content, and you never miss an episode. So please connect with me there, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Links are below. I'll see you every week with a new video, so please do stay tuned, and together, let's solve it like a marketer.